I found it. I found the last one. Kato, it's buried right here. Right here.
Doggo dug his paws into the dark, damp dirt, and began to dig, sniffing harder. This was definitely where it was. Kato walked over, a bit slower than usual because of the sword on his back, and looked.
Well, hurry. We don't know if we have time.
Digging faster, Doggo gripped the round pearl and started to pull it out of the dirt. With a few more tugs, he pulled it out and fell over with it in his paws.
Got it.
Good. Let's head back to Minori so we can unlock the last level.
Alrighty.
And with that, they both started to sprint back to the second to last stage, where Minori sat and awaited them. Once she spotted them arriving, she stood up on her feet.
Took you long enough. Did you guys get all of them? HM, here you go.
Kato held out the pearls he collected to her, nudging to Doggo to do the same. Of course, he obliged.
Great.
She turned her back to them and took a breath, looking out at the sea that ended abruptly. There was just a gray wall in place of an island was supposed to lay for a final level.
This is almost over. I can feel his presence here. He wants us to go. I can feel it. We need to be cautious and ready at any given moment. I know I'm good to go. The question is, are you two?
I am.
Doggo shouted.
I want to beat that mean entity. It deserves it. If everyone else is prepared, so am I.
Kato nodded.
I'm ready to end this. Right. Let's go.
She threw all of the pearls into the crystal waters, letting them break its surface and sink into the deep blue below. Only a second later, a pathway appeared, leading into that wall. Side by side, the three heroes walked across the path. No matter what they were going to face, they were prepared. Whether they had to face a bloody wasteland of corpses, or had to face mind games played by entities, they were ready to get it over with. Confidence rushed through their veins as they passed through the wall and faced nothing. The floor was a glossy, smooth gray, and the sky was just a darker gray. They all looked around for any danger, but there was nothing.
There has to be something here. Let's keep going.
Minori started to walk again with the other two in tow. The time that they walked across the large, empty plain seemed to last forever. There seemed to really be nothing, but Minori insisted they kept going despite their tiredness. Kato was about ready to collapse on Freya's own feet at this point. This seemed worthless.
Minori, are you sure we're even going anywhere? This room could be a repeating room. No, it isn't. I've been checking our coordinates. We're entering new territory.
Then what the hell are we even looking for?
Kato, calm down. We'll find something. Unless you have any better ideas on where to go.
He would have snapped back, but he really couldn't think of a sound response. All of a sudden, Doggo dropped to the ground on all fours with a halt, face to the floor and sniffing. The two stopped and looked at him. Annoyed, Kato scowled.
What are you doing?
He hissed.
I smell something. Something. Salty. Wait. Tears. Tears. I smell someone's tears.
Can you tell us who?
Minori raised an eyebrow.
No, but I can find them. Follow me.
Doggo, ignoring his tiredness, started to run while constantly sniffing for the source of the salty scent. Despite their aching feet, Minori and Kato ran after him, hoping this would lead somewhere. Eventually, the three stopped at a large wall with the same texture and color as the floor.
Well, that's just great.
Kato crossed his arms.
It looks like we can only go over.
Minori looked at Kato.
I'll try. No, Grundy, I can get over there.
Kato leaped up onto the wall, extracting his claws and trying to hold on. However, he only slid and fell back down.
Oh,
You okay?
yeah. Just fine.
Kato stood back up.
Well, now what?
I don't know. Maybe I can hack something in here to get us over.
Well, if I were you, I'd hurry with it. You could get attacked at any time.
Kato leaned against the wall while Minori started trying to code something to help them get over. Meanwhile, Doggo was just set on the ground until a new scent hit tears this time. They were gone now, but something more delicious. Though it was faint, it was there. Doggo bent down and started to walk along the wall until he found a spot where the smell was the strongest.
Where the hell are you going?
Kato called out after him. Minori had looked up too.
There's a new smell. It's strong, but only on this part. This smell also super delicious, like good food.
Doggo drooled a little as the cats walked over.
What smell?
Kato looked down at him.
The yummy smell of biscuits.
Biscuits. Like cake biscuits. Yeah. But not the store stuff. Baked biscuits.
Baked.
Yeah. Is that bad?
Kato paused. Baked biscuits? He felt his heart drop. He couldn't be here, could he? Of all places, he had to know what was on the other side. Minori seemed to read his face and guessed what he was thinking. She had only knew one cat who could smell like that too. Bending down near the spot, she tried to place a paw on it. However, her paw just clipped through it.
Oh.
Peeking her head through the space, it was a small tunnel with light at the end.
There's a tunnel here. It's most likely a bit cramped, but will fit. I'll take anywhere we can get.
Minori heard the desperation in his voice. Sighing, she moved and nodded to him that he could go first. Kato bent down onto fours and entered the small crawl space. Doggo and Minori followed right after. Dread hung in the air as the tunnel started to grow smaller, to the point where they had to bend their heads to where they touched the floor. Finally, they arrived at the other side. It was just like where they were before. Everything was just tinted a bit darker. Doggo sniffed the ground.
I can smell it. This way. It's coming from over here.
He started to run again, sniffing the ground as he did. The cats followed him once again. Eventually, Doggo stopped and looked up.
There.
He pointed at something to the cats. There was a figure in the distance. The details weren't clear, but its large figure and big ears made Kato's heart race. Pulling out the sword on his back out, he slowly and quietly began to walk towards it. The cat slowly became more visible, a light gray fur coat with slightly darker gray stripes and a smell of biscuits.